Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi, Masechet Gittin. We are up to Perek Hey Mishnah Tet. Today's Mishnayot should be Le'elu Nishmat, Neria ben Svetlana, Ranbai, Eliyahu ben Burcha Israelov, Chana ben Miriam, Sason ben Ryan, Yoshua ben Shifra, Menuchatam beGan Eden, Amen, and Avdi ben Chaim Nechaim, with the Refuah Shelemav, Daniel Shalom ben Rosa, Betoch Shah Cholei Israel. The Mishnah lists additional enactments that the rabbis made for the sake of peace. These laws relate to the prohibition against helping someone commit a transgression. Masheret isha lechaverta hachashuda lashviit. A woman may lend her friend who is suspected of violating the laws of Shviit, Shemitah. Shviit or Shemitah is the name for every 7th year when it is forbidden to farm land in Eretz Israel. Owners must let anyone enter their fields and take whatever produce is growing there. The owner may store some of the produce in his house and take from its supply according to his needs. But once a particular type of produce can no longer be found in the fields, he must remove that type of produce from his house and declare it ownerless. This process is called bi'ur. He is then allowed to reclaim the produce and use it as before. If one does not perform bi'ur by the appropriate time, the produce becomes prohibited. The Mishnah refers to a case where the woman's friend is suspected of keeping Shemitah produce beyond the cutoff date without performing bi'ur. Nafa, uchvara, verechaim, v'tanur. So a woman may lend her friend who is suspected of violating the laws of Shemitah a sifter, which separates fine flour from coarse flour, a sieve, which separates chaff from grain, a mill, which grinds grain into flour, and an oven, even though her friend will probably use them to prepare forbidden Shemitah produce. However, she may not sort or grind her friend's Shemitah produce together with her, because she thereby directly assists in preparing the forbidden produce. Now, it is generally not prohibited to prepare, like grind or sift, forbidden Shemitah produce. Only eating it is forbidden. Nevertheless, if someone is preparing such produce in order for it to be eaten, another person helps her, the second one is guilty of assisting in the performance of a transgression, of a sin. And a similar ruling, now the following part of the Mishnah does not refer to Shemitah produce. Eshet chaver masheled, eshet amaretz, the wife of a chaver, someone who carefully observes the laws of Tumah and tithing, may lend to the wife of an amaretz. Someone who does not observe these laws so carefully, nafav uchvara, a sifter and a sieve. The same applies to a mill and oven. Uvoreret v'tochenet umarkedet ima, and she may even sort, grind, and sift her produce together with her. This is permitted even though the Amaretz's wife might not tithe the food before it is eaten, and they are possibly preparing forbidden food. The Torah prohibits one to eat produce from which the required portions, tirumah, masot, etc., have not yet been removed. Most Amaretz do in fact tithe their produce. According to biblical law, their food is permitted. The rabbis, however, decreed that one may not eat the produce or food of an Amaretz before tithing it oneself. This is the prohibition of Demai. Since the food is forbidden only under rabbinic law, the rabbis ruled more leniently here than in the Mishnah's previous case of helping someone prepare forbidden Shvit produce. Although they prohibited one to assist in the sifting and grinding of forbidden Shvit produce, they allowed one to assist in the sifting and grinding of an Amaretz's produce, as says in Gemara, Gittin, page 61a. However, once the Amaretz's wife adds water to the flour, one may not help her knead it, literally touch with her, because one may not directly assist those who are in the act of committing a transgression. When the water is added and mixed into the flour, the resulting dough is subject to the obligation of challah. Challah is the portion that must be separated from dough and given to a kohen. Once a dough is formed, no part of it may be eaten until its challah has been removed. The law is that before challah is removed from dough, one is prohibited to make the dough tameh. While the dough still contains challah, the dough itself is regarded like challah in many aspects. Therefore, just as one is forbidden to make challah tameh, as we learned from Bamidbar chapter 18 verse 8, so is one forbidden to make the dough tameh. In our case then, since the Amaretz's wife and her utensils are presumed to be tameh, she will commit the sin of making the dough tameh. She needs it. The chaver's wife is therefore forbidden to help her knead the dough, because she will thereby directly assist in the transgression. Now the Mishnah has permitted 3 acts. A, lending utensils to a woman who will probably use them to prepare forbidden Shemitah produce. B, lending utensils to an Amaretz's wife who will probably use them to prepare food that might be eaten in its untied state. And C, helping her sort, grind, and sift food that might be eaten in an untied state. Even these acts should be forbidden under the prohibition against helping someone commit a transgression. The Mishnah explains why they are permitted. The rabbi said that all these acts are permitted only for the sake of peace, to promote peace between different groups of Jews. Nevertheless, even for the sake of peaceful relations, the rabbis permitted only indirect assistance. They did not allow direct assistance, such as helping to grind and sift forbidden shvit produce and helping to eat Amaalitz's dough. Additional enactments that the rabbis made for the sake of peace. We may give words of encouragement to non-Jews who are working their own land in Eretz Yisrael on Shvit. For example, one may say, be successful or be strong. Since non-Jews are not obligated to keep the laws of Shemitah, we may encourage them while they work their fields, though we may not help them, as the Rambam writes in the Chut Shemitah V'Yovel in chapter 8, Halacha 8. But we may not encourage a Jew who is doing so. On the contrary, we are obligated to rebuke a fellow Jew and prevent them from breaking the law. And we may greet non-Jews by saying Shalom, which is one of the names of God, even under pagan holidays. These acts are permitted for the sake of peace, to promote peace between Jews and non-Jews. If not for the promotion of peace, it would be forbidden to encourage a non-Jew to do work that a Jew may not do, as Rashi says on page 62 in Masechet Gittin. Likewise, it would be forbidden to greet a non-Jew with the word Shalom, which is the name of God, on his holiday, because he might then commit the sin of thanking his pagan deity for having received this honor. For the sake of peace, however, the rabbis allowed these practices. And that is then of Perek Hey, Mishnah Tet. We continue now with Perek Vav, Mishnah Aleph. Just as a husband may appoint an agent to deliver a get, so too a wife may appoint an agent to receive it. The Mishnah teaches how long a husband has to change his mind about the get once he hands it over to one of these agents. If a husband tells an agent, accept this get for my wife, or he says, take this get to my wife, if the husband wants to change his mind and cancel the get, he can change his mind until it is delivered. Since the agent in both of these cases is an agent for delivery, the husband can cancel the get at any time until it is delivered. Even where he tells the agent to accept the get for his wife, he does not mean to appoint him to be an agent for receiving the get, because only the wife can make an agent to act on her behalf, not the husband. Since everyone knows this, we assume that when he said to the agent, accept this get, he meant accept it and deliver it, meaning be my agent to deliver it to her. So again, until the delivery, he can cancel the get. Once it is delivered, however, the divorce takes effect and it is too late to cancel the get. Now the law is different when the husband gives the get to the wife's agent. If a woman tells an agent, accept my get for me from my husband, and the husband gave it to the agent, if the husband wants to change his mind and cancel the get, he cannot change his mind, because the get has already taken effect. The agent for receiving the get takes the wife's place during the divorce proceedings. Just as a get takes effect as soon as the wife receives it from her husband, so too it takes effect as soon as her agent receives it. Therefore, since a get takes effect as soon as the husband gives it to the wife's agent, if he wishes to have the right to change his mind until it is actually delivered to her, he must do the following. If the husband told the wife's agent, I do not want you to accept the get from my wife, rather I want you to take it to my wife and give it to her. That is, I do not want you to be her agent to receive the get, rather I want you to be my agent to deliver it. If he wants to change his mind and cancel the get, he may change his mind until the agent delivers the get. A get can take effect only with the husband's consent, like we will see in chapter 9, Mishnah 8. Therefore, if the husband does not want her agent to acquire the get for her, he does not. The Mishnah records another expression that can be used to appoint an agent to receive the get. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says, even if a woman tells an agent, take my get for me, and the husband then hands him the get, if the husband wants to change his mind and cancel the divorce, he may not change his mind, because the get took effect when the agent received it. When a woman tells someone, take my get for me, she means to appoint him as her agent to receive it. The get therefore takes effect as soon as he receives it. And the Rav tells us, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, that follows the pin of Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel. That is the Rabotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.